Caitlin is with us in San Francisco. Hi, Caitlin. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Rachel. How are you guys doing?
Great. How can we help?
So my brother sent me the Total Money Makeover for Christmas, and I read it in 2 days. So that was fantastic.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. Unbeknownst to me, I had kind of already been working on some of those baby steps, but now I've kind of hit a couple questions that I need a little help with.
Okay.
So the first one's kind of minor, and you could probably just spit it out real fast for me. When it comes to the envelope system, if I have anything left over at the end of the month, what should I do with that? Should I roll it over into the next month? Should I throw it towards debt? Should I throw it towards savings?
Yeah, Caitlin, if you have that extra cash, I would definitely throw it back towards your debt if you still have debt. If you've not saved your $1,000 emergency fund, you can use that to help build it up. But if you're still in debt and you have extra money in those envelopes, yes, take that extra and throw it at the debt.
Now, the only time there would be an exception to that would be if it is a category that you don't spend monthly on. And then you can use your envelope system as a little miniature savings account. So, like as an example, I buy clothes once every 3 years, but but some people,
I'm the same way.
but very few people buy clothing once a month.
Right.
So, shopaholics do, but most people don't buy clothing monthly. So your clothing envelope could bleed over from 1 month to the next, unless you're Rachel.
Okay.
So if you don't spend all your clothing money, go ahead and still spend it on clothing in a different month by keeping it in there. Car repairs would be another one of those.
Right.
But the ones that Rachel's talking about are like groceries.
Well, yeah, and most of your envelopes are going to be those things. Your envelope system really is for the categories you tend to overspend on, meaning you're spending it consistently. So if you're not spending it on clothes, I may not even have a clothing envelope. You could just have that in your budget and know. But when you actually go to the bank and cash out money, that's usually going to be for things like groceries.
Groceries is the big one.
Yeah. Or even personal.
We have a horrible habit on spending money on eating out, and that's where I'm like, okay, that budget needs to shrink drastically.
Yeah.
So if that envelope had money left in it, I'm with Rachel. I throw that at the debt.
Yeah.
Because you're going to refund that the next month, and that rewards you for not eating out so much. Same with going to the grocery store. If that's got money left in it, but if it's an envelope and stuff that is not a monthly occurrence necessarily, you can let it bleed over to a different month. And obviously, and we said this in Total Money Makeover, and you
she had
read
more
it.
Questions.
Can
you get her back?
I'm sorry, Caitlin. Your other question was what?
You have another one.
Yes, I do. This is the more major one. So my husband and I are both in school. He's a full-time student and I'm a part-time student. And we have 2 boys, and because of the pandemic, I'm kind of homeschooling them. And so our paycheck is kind of taking a hit, and we're actually very on the rice and beans kind of diet. So we don't have any car payments. Both of our cars are paid off, and we don't have any student debt. So yay for us. However, we are living with my in-laws, and they plan on moving in the next 2 years, and about a year and a half. They're planning on retiring, and they're moving, and we don't want to move with them. We actually have a plan to move out of state to a complete, cross country. And so my big question is, where do I, in my step 2 process, where do I kind of put that on hold and move towards building up my emergency fund for the move, planning for the move?
It's a moving fund. It's not an emergency fund. And so what I would do is budget for the move, figure out what it's going to cost you, and then stop everything in time to save that money.
Okay, so my question is, right now I'm not paying rent because I'm living with my in-laws, but when we move, we will be paying rent. So that's why I'm
But you'll be paying rent out of an income. You're not going to rent something for more than your income will cover. You don't need savings for rent.
Okay.
That's going to be coming out of your income.
It'd be part of the budget, the new budget.
Okay, so where are you going to move, and would you go back out in the marketplace if you move?
So we'll be moving to Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't quite catch the second part.
And will you be going back to work?
Oh, yeah. We don't actually have, jobs lined up on the other end, and that's why I said wouldn't it be more of an emergency fund, because
You need jobs lined up before you make the move. You got 18 months.
Yes.
Don't move without the jobs.
My husband is getting his degree. He's working on his bachelor's degree right now, and he will actually finish this summer before we move. Like, we plan on moving right after he completes his degree.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. All right. So, yeah, you make sure you're paying cash for that. But don't go, we're going to move and have 6 months of savings set aside because he doesn't have the job. Get a job. And then make the move. Because if there's not a job in Wisconsin, then there's a job somewhere else. You might not even be going to Wisconsin.
But my catch-22 dilemma is that my in-laws are moving.
I know. You've got to move out of that house, but you're not moving to Wisconsin without a job. You might be moving to a rental down the street, or you might be moving to Austin, Texas. I don't know where you're going. Where's he going to get a job? And that's a big deal. I mean, he's got to really start talking about that now. Let's go ahead and start planning that out and start courting with some of those companies and figuring out where you're going to land. The idea of just moving over there and hoping it all works out, that's a bad idea. You need that lined out.
And the good thing is, Caitlin, you guys have time. You have time to prepare.
Exactly.
Which is a blessing.
So use that time, and that way you don't just fall off the cliff. Yeah.